Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tequila B with TruLuv Designz, and I am so excited about this Valentine's Day dress. Y'all don't understand. I had a vision and I was actually able to see that vision come to life before my eyes. Well, first it died and then it came back to life. So let me walk you through what happened and how I got to this final result. So in one of my latest videos, I talked about my vision for my Valentine's Day dress. How I wanted a fitted bodice, but I wanted the skirt portion to kind of be flowy, and I wanted it to be short and flirty for Valentine's Day. So I started out by using 3 different patterns to make my design come to life. But then it ended up just being 2, but I'll walk you through that. So first, I knew there was a pattern that I already liked the bodice and the fit of, and it fit me perfectly. So that was the pattern that I was going to use for the bodice portion of my dress. And that pattern is the Barbie top. I took the pattern pieces for the bodice of the Barbie top, and instead of keeping it the length that I usually make the top out of, I folded the pattern to the waistline. I figured this should put my skirt right where I wanted it to be. I kept the original neckband to the pattern and added that. No changes needed to be made there because I love the turtleneck mock neck look. So moving on to the sleeves, I used the sleeves from New Look N6682 View B, the kind of flary sleeves. I didn't want anything fitted. I didn't want anything long. Now I love a 3/4 length or a long sleeve, but I didn't want that in my Valentine's Day dress. Now for the skirt, there was only one skirt in mind that I felt would work with this pattern. So this skirt pattern is a self-drafted skirt that I drafted in Mimi G's Sew It Academy. And there is a link in the description box below if you want to check that out. And I felt like this skirt would really work. So I made that skirt back in 2021. So I remember how it looked, but I guess not really. But yeah, anyway. So this way this skirt was designed, it is made to be worn with elastic so that that skirt really bunches up. I will say that making this pattern was really a breeze. Even with all the added work and changes to the pattern that I had to make, it was a breeze. I was able to sew through it easy, mainly because I've made 3 of the Barbie top pattern. So I ran through that. Now, once we got to the skirt portion, for the original pattern, you make 2 triangular cuts on the fold for your front and back pieces. So once I got these sewn together, I was like, whoa, this is a lot of fabric. I'm hoping I can get all of this to fit on this bodice. So since I wasn't using elastic, I did forget to put in basting stitches before sewing up all the side seams. So I went back in and I put in 2 rows of basting stitches so that I could get this to fit onto the bodice. So I did that, got the skirt and the bodice sewn together, and this is what I ended up with. Now there was some doubt in my mind that this may not look the way I wanted to. So first off, it was short enough, but the skirt portion was not giving what I requested. It was way too low, and then it was not even. It was doing this droopy, sloping, asymmetrical, uneven thing. And I didn't like it. I didn't like where it was sitting. It was sitting in the wrong place. It wasn't at my natural waist, and it was just not right. It was just not right. So back to the drawing board I went. So my initial thought was I need this waistline to come up, either right under the bust line or right at my natural waist. So I figured that I would need to take out about 3 inches from the bodice, but lengthen my skirt because originally I shortened it to get the length that I wanted. So I'm thinking, how am I going to pull this off? So I thought, okay, take out one of the panels for the skirt, because although it was 2 pieces cut on the fold, I didn't have enough fabric, or I was trying to conserve fabric. So I cut one on the fold, and then I cut the back portion 2 parts. So my initial thought was to take out one of those parts and maybe it would fit and hang a little better. But then I thought about how this is originally meant for elastic, and I still don't think it's going to give me the look I want. So I'm like, what pattern can I use for this skirt? So I went back to New Look 6682, and I went ahead and pulled the skirt portion of that pattern out and cut it out. And I said, this should be closer to the draping effect that I want. And man, was I correct. So the way I handled fixing this dress was I took it back to my cutting mat. Since I knew my waistline was not even, I lined up the side seams on my cutting mat evenly. Then I took a ruler and I cut off 3 inches from the bodice. I just went ahead and just left the skirt on. I didn't worry about unpicking. I just cut the rest of that bodice and the skirt off together, and I threw it to the side. So now this bodice was looking kind of short, but I said this should work. This should work. So that's a problem that I do have. Sometimes I'm looking at things and I'm like, this looks too short, this looks too long. But in reality, once I get it on my body, it's exactly the length it needs to be. So I went ahead and I added this skirt from New Look pattern onto this bodice, and oh my God, this dress gave everything that I requested. The length is perfect. It's not too short, not too long, just short enough to be flirty. The sleeves flared just enough, just how I want them. And the bodice, perfection. Like the waistline, right under my bust, it is perfect. So I showed my husband, well, he saw the first one and he was like, yeah. He was like, it looks good, but yeah, that bottom part isn't quite right. So it didn't offend me. I knew. And when I showed him the second look, he was like, oh yeah, that's nice. So he's like, so then you're a designer then, because you put those patterns together and created a new look. Am I? Am I really a designer now? Like, does that qualify me as a designer? I don't know. So needless to say, I am very, very happy and proud of this look that I was able to create and throw together. Like, it came out perfect. Now, my hemline is a little bit off. I don't know if you can tell, but I didn't bother messing with that because it kind of has its little own design. It has like this dipping effect in the front, like a rainbow. Kind of, yeah. Like a rainbow effect in the front, if you can see that. And I'm okay with that. I actually like it, but it's not so noticeable that you would be able to tell unless you're just really, really critiquing my look. So I'm okay, and I am happy with how this dress turned out.